Oh, I love this channel.
Hi there, I'm Scott Frerichs, and as a gay man in a post-Reagan America, protection means a lot to me, and I like to wrap up my devices with Surfshark. Surfshark protects all of your devices an unlimited amount from home to mobile, and makes it easy to protect your identity and your browsing habits, as well as staving off unwarranted, unruly, ungodly ads, and even allows you to connect to different servers all over the world with one click so you can circumnavigate geoblocking. Hell, I'm in the Berlin, Germany right now. Oh, this accent is going to lose us all our ideals. And if you go to surfshark.deals/TeamFourStar and enter the promo code TeamFourStar, you'll get your first month free and 83% off your subscription. Enjoy Surfshark and enjoy your protected browsing. And now, the Talkcast Podshow. Hello there, and welcome back to the Talkcast Podshow, the #1 show on the internet and man's greatest invention since toilet paper. I'm Scott KaiserNeko Frerichs, and with me today are Brienne Olvera.
Hey, how's it going?
And Christopher Zito.
95% of you just got fucking called on blast. Wash your fucking hands.
And stop hoarding toilet paper. Corona doesn't give you chorro. Stop it.
I was
Off to a good start, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
I was just making a reference to Castlevania. You know, because the line about the toilet paper, which, by the way, we're going to give a slightly less spoilers at the very beginning here. Go over it.
We'll try.
That's going to be very hard.
We're going to try.
It is. It's going to be a little bit difficult. You know what? Actually,
Y'all had a week.
You know what? Fuck it.
Y'all had a week.
A lot of people
You had
say,
a week.
Just fucking skip to the spoiler stuff. A lot of people have been saying that lately. A lot of people are like, if I want a fucking Base Bones review, they'll go to fucking IGN. If they want an actual review, all right, look.
Wow, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Shit, you want it real.
Yeah. All right.
So, look, Castlevania Season 3. It's... Actually, it came out faster than I thought it was going to. Like, before I knew it, it's like, oh yeah, Castlevania Season 3 is out. I'm like, whoa, okay, shit, fuck, all right. I remembered, like, Season 2 left on such a, like, the series could have ended there a moment. Like, it felt like it could end here and you'd mostly be fine with that, except for the fact of the stuff with Carmilla, Isaac, and Hector. But otherwise, you know, it felt like the story of Trevor, Sylph, and Alucard... Sypha, you're right. I keep calling her Sylph. Was basically done. So I was kind of curious where they were going to go this season. And
Which
finally...
is fucking hysterical, because I could not give a single shit less about Curse of Darkness content. And this show has made me feel something for Isaac and for Hector that I didn't think I'd actually have after playing the games.
Well, we were talking a little bit about this earlier, that you kind of feel like Isaac got a glow up.
He got a massive glow up, because from the games, he's just your crazy anime antagonist number 5.
Yeah, he looks like a mixture between Iori from King of Fighters and Gact, and it's not a good look.
Yeah. I mean, to be quite frank, I mean, if anyone was going to get the gold star for this season, it's going to be Isaac, let's be frank.
Hold on real quick.
What's up?
I think that there's something on the screen.
Well, that's just our preview.
Yeah, that is just the preview, but I don't know if it's actually...
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. If it's not showing, it's not showing.
It's fine.
Yep.
But yeah, so this was its weakest season so far, from my perspective. This was definitely its weakest season, which is not to say its worst season, which is not to say a bad season. But for me, I felt like this was its weakest season out of the 3.
Okay.
I'll let you go.
As the guy here who probably has the most familiarity with the franchise. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and fucking say it here.
All right, go ahead.
When Saint Germain goes through time,
Oh yeah.
do you know who he's looking for?
No, actually, I'm not.
Shanoa.
Okay.
And she is the fucking crux. She is the final 2D game that came out on the 3DS. Or the DS, whichever one.
I think it was DS.
The DS. Order of Ecclesia came out on the DS. It is a big fucking deal because it pretty much just goes, hey, so we know that Castlevania is a massive multiverse fucking issue and no one knows where it starts, but this is how it fucking ends.
Okay.
And it ends with a woman trapped in time, kind of like... She literally, if you wake her up from the timeline, you pretty much just undo all the damage that was taken away from it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, The fact that Saint Germain is looking for like the outfit, the silhouette, I'm just like, there's no fucking way. And a woman trapped in time, it's fucking Shanoa.
Okay.
And that's a big fucking deal for multiverse theory.
And that's great from the perspective of somebody who's really into Castlevania. Obviously, you have an insight into what that's all about and where that's going to go. I don't know shit about shit when it comes to Castlevania. The only things that I know about are the show.
Right.
So watching this as somebody like the average viewer, let's be honest, who's not going to know about any of that, it's an interesting perspective, but it also does not necessarily add anything for me. The season itself still suffers from storytelling problems and some character arcs that seemingly go nowhere.
Yeah. But for a person who actually does know the franchise, that's actually the complete opposite, because it leaves so many things open in a good way, and it proves that the writers for the show fucking give a shit about the franchise.
Yeah. Well, let me stress this right now. One man wrote this show.
Yeah.
One man, one of the biggest nerds, wrote this show, and I actually disagree with your statement. I think season 3 is the best season of the show.
I mean, that's
because
a lot.
The theme of the show, it's all about philosophy. It's philosophical takes from every character in the show. Like the conversation with Isaac and the captain, played by Lance Reddick, who actually does an accent for once.
That was so good.
I know, he was so good as the captain. But the philosophical conversation he was having with the captain and Isaac thinking about, why do I keep expecting the best out of humanity over and over, and I keep making these same mistakes, and how he's basically like, I'm just, fuck it, like, I'm gonna...
Why do I bother?
Why do I bother? Here's the best way I can sum up season 3. Because the reason I think season 3 is the best is, like you said, it opened a lot of new things.
I call this the multiverse season.
Yes. Season 3 is Warren Ellis setting up all the pieces.
Okay.
Because it's a transitional season. It's setting everything up, what's going on with Hector, Isaac. Because if I'm not mistaken, in the conversation we had before Monster Hunter, we're done with Trevor and Sypha.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, when it comes to going with Alucard.
No.
There's one more.
There's a couple more.
There's a couple more, okay.
Because Hector and Isaac play a big role in it, and so does Trevor. So when those three come together, that's Curse of Darkness, and then it moves on to Simon.
Right, because from what I could tell, we are moving into Curse of Darkness. Just like I said, it's funny, we're kind of a spectrum.
That's what I thought this whole season was going to be, Curse of Darkness.
No, and then... Right. It's like I said, it's funny because it's a spectrum. It's like the ultimate fan.
If it's okay.
Yeah.
I would like to start talking about the season actually and not in what it means to the entirety of it.
Right.
Sorry, but it's very hard not to talk about that.
I get you.
Yeah.
From my perspective, and again, I think it's important to get the perspective of, again, somebody who doesn't know about this.
Right.
I very much enjoyed the story of Isaac in this season. Isaac was probably one of my favorite characters to actually follow.
The Legion fight was so good.
The Legion fight is one of the scariest things I've seen in animation in a long time.
I want to know who the old man is, because you
the old magician?
You don't leave that off on a cliffhanger and just like
you don't.
He's that's a very important fucking situation and character, and then he just kills him. What? No.
I don't think the actual identity old man means anything at all.
Fair.
This is a universe where magic just kind of fucking happens, and there was a guy who found a way to turn
control Legion.
To create Legion.
Yeah.
The Legion in this show is not like Legion in the games.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Sphere at the center. There's a core at it. This is a guy who just can control a bunch of people, so he makes a giant fucking writhing ball of bodies. Which, again, one of the scariest damn things I've seen in animation is when he's running up the tower and you just see the bubbling of people. That
was terrifying.
Yeah, there's a lot of horror aesthetic in this show.
Yeah.
But for the first time since the show has started, I felt genuinely creeped out. But besides that, I feel like Isaac gets some of the best development, some of the most interesting story, mostly because he's not bound to one place. He's constantly traveling and moving. Meanwhile, Trevor and Sypha are in Lindenfeld, and Alucard is at his castle.
He's at home.
At all times, these characters are secluded to these specific spots, and their individual stories all happen separate from each other. And then you also have Hector at the castle. nothing feels connected. Throughout the entire season, everything feels like it's separate from one another, so none of these stories intertwine, which is mostly okay, but by the end of it, I felt like while a lot of things had developed and characters had developed, not a whole lot moved forward in terms of the plot.
I can agree with you on a couple of matters. I can agree with you on Hector, and I can agree with you.
Hector's, I feel like, is the most egregious, but
I think Alucard's is the most egregious.
Alucard's is interesting, and we'll cover that one. I felt like Hector's was the most aggravating for me.
I think because what I'm going to say is going to be hypocritical, because I think that the reason why Trevor and Sypha's story doesn't feel stagnant is the introduction of Saint Germain. But the introduction of the Japanese vampire hunters in Alucard's story, by proxy, should change that as well. I don't think they add a lot. They add something for a game element. They don't add something for a story.
Are they in the games at all?
No, it sets up for canonically the last Castlevania game.
Okay. For me, and I keep saying for me because I don't want to act like anything I have to say is fact, but when it comes to, okay, so Alucard over this season gets a glimpse at happiness, gets a glimpse at having friends and family back in his life, and at the very end gets that torn away from him. And if I'll be frank with you, I felt like the development of how they handled those two characters was frankly bad.
The pacing was weird because it's just like they're ham-fisting. They're like, we're gonna fucking betray him. We're your friends. Wait, no, like it's stuck in the middle, and then it just happens.
Yeah, no, it is a very quick decline because you don't get to spend, which is odd. You get to spend so much time with them over the course of an entire fucking season, and yet it still feels like the decline from, oh yeah, we're besties playing in the grass and having fun and laughing with each other, to murder him. Because apparently he's lying to us and we're nihilists now.
He's not giving us all the weapons we want. When did you want the weapons at all? You wanted to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this whole thing, which I understand, like, look, I don't need everything explained to me, but with the pacing of it, there's a pacing thing that you have to consider. It's not necessarily I need more information. It's you paced this out to make it feel like, oh, there's a natural development happening between them, things are good, but then the regression,
if I may.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with, because I do agree, Alucard's thing is weird. Every party, every element of the season has a one-word theme.
Yeah.
Trust.
Yeah.
It's all about trust, but I think that is a poor choice of theme for the season. Because unfortunately, the theme of trust works for other characters. Trevor and Sypha, and Isaac, they both are like Trevor and Sypha, they're learning to trust each other more as partners. I mean, we get Simon thanks to them. And then Isaac's learning about trust with humanity. But for Hector and Alucard, it's this naivety of trust. It's like with Hector, oh, she won't, Lenore won't hurt me. Sorry, I had to squeeze that in. Lenore, she won't hurt me. She's the diplomat, blah, blah, blah. She's been so kind to me. And when it comes to Alucard, because he's naive in wanting to trust people because he's alone.
Yeah.
He has no one. So I think my problem is Warren Ellis thought that the theme of trust could work with the entire cast. It doesn't in execution.
Okay.
But the reason I think season 3 is one of the best seasons, or in my opinion, the best season so far, is because it's Warren Ellis's best writing. His writing is so goddamn good. The dialogue is so good.
Well, think of it this way. It's because the guy, when he first got on for this task, it was a movie. It was not episodes, it was a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a movie that was Trevor's basic, like, it's basically the first 5 minutes of Castlevania 3 into 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And then it's all of Castlevania 3 for season 2.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And now for this, there's a lot of setup and multiverse shit that happens at this nexus that it's just like Warren Ellis could just be like, holy fuck, I could do whatever shit I
it's
want.
Yeah, and you are right in the fact that this is definitely Warren Ellis's best writing. The writing for the first season was up and down. Sometimes it felt fantastic. At other times, it felt, well, honestly, just kind of trashy.
Well, you could tell he's trying to like find his stride when he's setting everything up while hitting, check boxes for the major events of the story. It's like, okay, I can have some wiggle room with the dialogue and stuff, but I have to hit these elements of the story.
Except for Grant, because he didn't like Grant in the game.
I know.
Except for Grant.
I know.
More Grant than Nasty. Got fucking... got kiboshed out of the story because he thinks he's a shitty character.
It's so sad because he's okay. I don't hate Grant as a character, but yeah, like this season really shows Warren Ellis' strength when it comes to dialogue between two characters. He knows how to set characters up, and the chemistry. I mean, for example, look at the Trevor Sci-Fi and the Judge. Like, the dialogue there, once they get to know each other, like, that's the thing I love about Warren Ellis is he knows how to make organic introductions and chemistry in his writing.
So let's talk about the Judge for a moment.
Yeah.
The Judge is actually one of the most interesting characters throughout the season. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be honest with you about something. Mm-hmm. The twist at the end, I didn't like it. I legitimately did not like the twist at the end because it just kind of felt like Warren Ellis was like, oh, right, I have to make sure that every single person in this series that is not the de facto main characters are basically awful and cannot be trusted.
It also doesn't help that a good chunk of these side characters are based on bosses.
Yeah.
I mean, the captain is a boss.
Really?
Yeah, the captain is a boss in a game.
Huh.
But basically, I agree with both of you. The twist with the pit in the apple tree, I'm like, really?
Little pleasures. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It's like, okay, you're literally a dictator. Like, this is my town, my rules.
Look, in a world like that, I hate to say it, in a world like that,
no, it makes sense.
Yeah, you might need to be kind of an asshole because you're running a fucking tight ship in a place that's surrounded by monsters. Yeah, it's gonna be more a little bit like a boot camp than a fucking than a town where you get to just have fun and be free. No, he throughout the entire season I was like, oh, okay, this guy's actually kind of cool. I like him. Mm-hmm. And at the end, no, he was a child murderer.
Europe's not gonna find peace for a good long while.
Yeah.
Until Circle of the Moon, where the fucking castle ends up in Australia for some reason.
Which they did tease.
Which they did!
Yeah.
When Saint Germain is going through the Infinite Corridor, just sees an Aboriginal person just look at him.
I'm just like, oh, hi, Circle of the Moon.
Exactly.
And then Portrait of Ruin, and then Order of Ecclesia. I'm like, you are fucking going through the entire roster of games.
Okay.
And you also made Judgment good, which is that shitty fighting game. You made Judgment good.
Can we talk about Saint Germain now?
Saint Germain? You mean the best character in the whole fucking season?
Who invented absinthe?
Yeah, who invented absinthe?
He canonically says, oh yes, I invented absinthe in Paris.
Using the wormwood root and anise.
Yeah, the minute he was listening to things, I'm like, where am I?
Also, the man has used toilet paper.
Yeah.
What the fuck is toilet paper?
The fuck is toilet paper? I'm sorry, that line caught me off guard so hard.
And it's a meme now.
I love the way he sets it up and is like, I see that you were talking to the outsiders. It's like, yes, I'm very famous. I'm the first person they've ever met who's used toilet paper.
Yeah.
What the fuck is toilet paper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good, but Saint Germain was a very pleasant addition to the mixture of this season.
Saint Germain might be one of the few, so while the Judge ends up being a piece of shit, it is kind of nice to see that, oh, hey, Saint Germain, he's probably done shady shit. But he's now in that, the twilights of his life, the later years, where he's like, you know what, I'm just trying to do good, mind my own business, be a better person, and not fuck anybody over. And that's what, he's seen too much and he's learned too much. And now he's just trying to be an okay guy and find his way through life. He doesn't want to fuck anybody over, hurt anybody. He just wants to find where his fucking wife went.
Saint Germain is a very classic character
Wife or
archetype.
daughter? Daughter. I'm feeling daughter.
I'm feeling daughter. But to kind of backpedal a tiny bit when it comes to Saint Germain, he's the classic nomadic archetype. He's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He's the show's Doctor Who.
He's a little bit Doctor Who. So is it canonical that he's a time traveler?
Yes.
Is he from the future?
No, he shows up in Curse of Darkness, so he's literally just before the events of what happens in season 4, I'm going to assume.
Okay.
He becomes a very important character in Judgment, which is the fighting game that merges every timeline together.
Okay.
And then based on how vague this is going to be, I don't know if his presence is going to be still in the 1800s, because that's when Order of Ecclesia stops. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's going to be relevant for at least another 2 seasons.
All right.
I could see that. Also, I can also see the captain sticking around the same amount of time.
I want to see more of the captain.
Yep.
Man, I don't know who his actor was.
Unfortunately, I really fucking feel like he's going to be a throwaway character. That's the unfortunate part.
I could see that, but when you cast Lance Reddick in a part, fucking Zavala from Destiny and the John Wick, the guy who runs the front desk at the car.
Oh, was that guy?
Him. That's him.
Oh,
That's Lance Reddick.
All right.
It's so nice to hear him do an accent for once, because it's always this natural voice.
I mean, I won't lie. So for my stupid Western ears, whenever he puts the emphasis on a different syllable, I'm like, is that how they say it? Have you ever had brandy? And I'm like, brandy, okay. No, but yeah, he's this character. He's got so much charisma every time he's on screen, and he just basically sits back and he's like, I'm going to control the conversation. I'm going to control the flow. Yeah. I'm going to pull up the topics. I'm going to make you think about your fucking life. And I'm like, the moment he left, I was sad. I was legitimately sad. I'm like,
sad too,
no, Mr. Captain, don't leave.
That's why casting Lance Reddick was so perfect. If anyone can give that presence of control in a conversation, it's Lance Reddick. Like one thing I love about the captain is he plants the seeds of this new philosophy in Isaac's head.
Yeah.
It's like, you could be an emperor. You could rule this land. You can teach people, Isaac. And he does take that to mind when it comes to the moment of, at first he kind of throws it away, especially when he gets back to land. And
there's one thing I got to bring up about Isaac before we can continue talking about Isaac. So imagine you're Isaac, and imagine your entourage is a bunch of nightmare creatures in a world where these same creatures are known for mutilating and eating people on a regular basis in a land that is so perilous. It's kind of amazing that human beings have not gone extinct, because if they're not being farmed by literal vampire lords, they're being consumed by death creatures. So imagine those are your motherfucking entourage, and you stroll your ass up to a new town, and then you have the gall, the cojones, the fucking chip on your shoulder to get mad at them when they say, what the fuck? No, you're not going to be able to come through here. Turn around and walk your ass that way. You basically got the Black Plague behind you. Fuck off.
I mean, fuck Isaac for having confidence.
Isaac! The swagger on Isaac. No, trust me, we're just gonna pass through. Don't be a dick.
Balls on this man.
And then he gets mad at them for saying no. And it's like, who are you that self-unaware?
If I may, the moment of Genoa led me to his little monologue at the dock. Again, Warren Ellis is writing Aces.
This is really funny, though. Yeah. As much as I think it's dumb, I love the line.
As someone who has worked retail for a decade, this was a big mood.
Yeah.
When he talks about,
when they ask me why I could not spare humanity, I'm going to tell them all, it's because you were so fucking rude. I'm like, oh my God, you're so fucking rude. And I'm like, oh.
Every retail customer service person felt that. And again, Warren Ellis knows. He knows.
Fucking Karen's gonna get eaten by a fucking night terror. It's great.
That's Isaac's real enemy. It's not man. It's
Karens. Oh my God, Isaac, slayer of Karens.
I mean, to be fair, Carmilla is a Karen.
Oh my God, Carmilla is 100% a fucking Karen. Isaac's out to kill that Karen, and he will not stop until she's dead.
I can't wait to see, because here's the thing. I play the games as well. I've played the typical ones. I can't wait to see how Carmilla becomes a severed head. A sentient floating head.
Okay, so let's talk about Carmilla and her sisterhood of the traveling Hector.
I love that the entire fucking show makes you feel like you should feel sorry for them. and I'm just like, they're fucking vampires that corral human beings for cattle.
Yep.
This is not good people.
No.
Stop thinking otherwise.
That's the
That's the interesting thing is, if you are a vampire and one of the ways that you survive is off the blood of human beings, you know.
I've given pause to this thought, actually. This exact situation you're talking about, I've given pause, and I've written out scenarios that they actually could survive alongside human beings this way.
Yeah, and there's a lot that goes into that, but you know, one of the things that plays into it is the nature of this world. Like everyone is an asshole. The people who aren't assholes in this world are an exception.
And they die first.
And they kind of die fucking first. Yeah. And so it's interesting that when you see these vampires, they've lived for centuries. They live in elegance. They've taken themselves away and secluded themselves in a world where, oh yeah, no, we can survive on food, but the thing that gives us our lust for life is human blood. And it's really interesting to watch them because you see these people with these multifaceted personalities and care and love for one another, and a legitimate like they're a family and they're trying to work together. But you can definitely 100% tell that the odd duck out of them is Carmilla. Because while they helped Carmilla, they were also like, well, what happened to the horses? You didn't give me fucking vampire immortal horses. You gave me regular horses. They died immediately.
And I also love
and
that they
like,
talk shit about her behind her back.
They are so gonna fucking try to betray her at the end of the day.
Striga and Morana specifically are arguably one of the cutest couples in the show.
Yeah, I mean, look,
yes.
they might be...
Because it's organic. It's not shoehorned in, writers. Sorry.
I was just going to say, they are evil vampire bitches, and they will ultimately have to die most likely unless they kind of pull a heel
all of
turn.
them are gonna die except for Carmilla.
Yeah,
Don't fucking spoil it.
That's video games.
I know, but
that's
I know,
the tagline.
What the fuck? What do you mean those? Fuck you.
hey,
That's video games.
I don't play the video games.
They're all gonna die.
Welcome to Castlevania.
Holy
You're all
fuck!
gonna
It's
die.
Castlevania.
I mean, I guess that's true. I guess if you are a vampire in Castlevania, you're gonna fucking
You're
die.
gonna fucking die.
Right.
The only one who does it is Dracula, and he dies at the very fucking end.
Yeah.
And that's 25 games later.
Yeah.
But he's dead.
Julius Belmont, the weakest Belmont in 2035. The weakest Belmont from America is the only fucking one who defeats Dracula because he stopped and said, wait a minute, he keeps coming back. What's that thing around his neck? It's the fucking Philosopher's Stone! Take it off! Done!
I could feel the heat radiating off of you right now.
It's like, holy shit! No one thought to take... We're gonna get to Curse of Darkness because the part with Leon is best friends with Dracula, and Dracula makes the fucking Philosopher's Stone, and he wears it every fucking time in every piece of concept art. He's wearing the fucking Philosopher's Stone. No one decides to take it off him when he dies.
Yeah. Let me Tai Chi this to like another direction because Jesus Christ, I'm actually sweating from the heat radiating off of this man. That's the thing when it comes to Castlevania and how Warren Ellis is such a fucking fanboy, and I love it. The man, he's a very well acclaimed writer. He knows his mythology. As the weirdo in the office that is obsessed with monsters, I mean, look what I fucking brought to the
We haven't
office.
opened that yet.
I know we haven't opened that yet, but your mic's here. Hang on. Okay. The one time I trimmed my nails, and I can't fucking reach it. There we go. There we go. Yes, I'm that fucking weirdo.
That's an actual vampire kid. You're
one of the weirdos here talking about Castlevania, so.
True, but I go the extra mile. Yes, show 'em. Steak, gun, cross. I actually have holy water in this thing. The guy who sold this to me and made it, he only made like 30 of these. He hand riveted the chest himself.
Hey, Lanny's grandma has one.
Really?
Almost exactly like this. In fact, it might have been from the same person.
Probably, because the guy's a Texas local who made this. But also, this thing is wobbling, and I don't want it because this is a glass table.
Right.
Fair enough.
I don't want to fuck with it. But Warren Ellis, he knows monsters, and vampires to simply put it, they are the Kanye West of monsters. They know they are top shit and they know it. They are the apex predator and they know it. They flaunt it.
They're the aristocratic monster.
Yep.
They're the one.
Did I stutter?
Yeah.
They're the Kanye West of monsters. They know they're hot shit. And that's why everyone hates them.
Except for only 8 hours of the day.
Yeah, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I get to lie in bed for 8 hours. Wish I could lay in bed for 8 hours.
Did they ever actually talk about in the show how because they're very good about the whole scenario when it comes to vampires.
Yeah.
Like, obviously the garlic thing doesn't work.
Yeah.
Running water, I think, is one of the things that works in the show.
I can't remember.
And you're not allowed. Well, I think this one got blown the fuck out of the water. Actually, no, because we haven't seen it before. A vampire cannot enter your home unless you allow them.
Oh, the invitation. I don't think they've done that yet.
I don't think that's happened.
The one thing that they did show in season
Because they need
3,
the night creatures to break in.
Yeah, that's why they use the night creatures. One thing that they did do in when it comes to like monster hunting mythology, especially in Europe, is the shit and salt on weapons.
Yeah.
That is a thing. Not just for monsters, but it was also in warfare. You know, salt because it's pain, shit for infection because that's the real killer.
But yeah, biological warfare.
Exactly. That's the real killer. So they get the mythology right. That's why I think what I love about this specific season is, again, it's Warren Ellis's writing. And also, every episode ends on a great button.
Oh,
the
yeah.
final scene of every episode has a perfect button, and you just want to hit next episode.
Oh, I binged the entire show in a
Same.
night.
Like
fucking
Alucard's
night.
fucking ending. Like, his story sucked, but that ending kicked so much ass.
The last line on the script, last
Yeah.
line on the page, last scene. It worked for dear old dead dad.
Oof.
And I just went, bruh.
Yeah. So let's talk about, okay, so we've talked about Carmela. Hector.
Oh,
Hector sucks this season. I'm sorry. Hector,
does.
he's fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You knew this was gonna
fucking
happen.
idiot.
To be honest, though, the way they set up Hector in season 2, I could tell, I'm like, oh, you're just stupid. You're just a naive.
Yeah.
He is a very stupid fucking person.
I wouldn't call him stupid. I would call him naive. He's a boy.
He's been groomed into this.
Yeah, he's not a man. He's a boy.
He's not
a
Crispin.
very naive boy.
He doesn't become Crispin Freeman Vampire Slayer until later.
Yeah, like after.
That's the game. That's the game. That was the voice actor for the game for Hector.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to God that Hector turns into more of a character and less of a what he is now.
It's really like after all the shit that he's going through right now, I feel like this is the turning point where he actually becomes like very competent. Like we had 2 seasons of him faffing about and being abused. This is his revenge trip.
I think what Warren Ellis is setting up is
because Isaac needs to show up and they have to fight.
Yeah, because that's their whole thing. That literally is their whole thing. Is like, you know, they hate each other. And now kiss.
Dracula.
But what Warren, I think, part of me feels like Warren Ellis took some elements of Alan Moore's writing in this season, specifically how he's setting up Hector in particular. Eventually he's gonna lash out. Eventually, you know, bottling everything and all the abuse, everything. You know, just like in The Killing Joke, all it takes is one bad day.
Hey man,
Like him grabbing Lenore by the head and fucking wrapping his throat around her in the grate.
Grabbing her trachea.
and yeah, that went very, very poorly for him.
His reaction, oh, the bats!
Because they pretty much went through every single ability you could do in Symphony of the Night with Lenore.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, while Hector might be an idiot, I actually really liked Lenore.
Lenore kicked ass.
Yeah,
Lenore was great.
Lenore, between the writing for her actress, and that design,
Yeah.
like she has that fucking goth Lolita design.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you all think I'm the
fucking
wuss? That's amazing. That's
I know.
great. Keep thinking that.
Just because you think I'm the diplomat doesn't mean I'm weak.
Yeah,
And I love her.
I'm a vampire too, genius.
Exactly.
yeah. And I like the idea that just because I can be diplomatic doesn't mean I won't whoop your fucking ass, dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that's really good to see. And the fact that I love that she kept her plan a secret to her sisters the whole time.
Yeah.
She made sure that
No one
everything was going according to her plan. Like, at no point could her sisters interfere with what she was doing, which, again, made it seem like she was the more it seemed like she was keeping stuff from her sisters, the more Hector had a reason to believe her.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I will say this, and this is the thing that kind of doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. The audience can tell immediately what she's doing.
Right.
I never at any point did I feel like this betrayal wasn't coming.
Right.
I never felt like it was shocking,
Yeah.
which is a struggle a little bit when you're watching it, because then for the audience you're just kind of waiting, like, okay, when's it gonna drop?
Yeah.
And then the thing that made it surprising was that she hadn't told her sisters.
Yeah.
And the way that she did it, when you find out that this ring is actually a binding ring, she set that up way early on.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she uses that ring, I'm like, wait a second, didn't she say her sisters wore that? No, they don't, but they will now.
Yeah, she made extra rings for them. And
I also, like, I'm just sitting here going, okay, here's the problem I have with a lot of the writing in this show. Good setup, good follow through.
the payoff.
Payoff sucks, but then there's buttons that start up the whole cycle all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the actual... Okay, so let's start talking about payoffs. We talked a little bit about Alucard earlier.
Yes.
Alucard's story throughout this entire season is him learning to trust, to love, to open up to two more people after... And it's great, a male and a female, just like
Trevor
and Sypha after they left him.
Don't talk to those.
The dolls.
And
I love that someone actually made them
Yep.
for Warren and sent it to him.
Oh, nice.
Of Sypha and Trevor dolls.
That's great. I love that I love that I actually kind of dug on this whole aspect of like, oh, he's made friends. And then throughout the entire season, it's like, yes, he's training them to take on, what was it?
No, she's already dead.
Oh, right, she's dead.
Yeah, but remember what Taka said. Not Kurt, the character named Taka. He said, it's just a matter of time before another vampire takes
Right.
over that
Also-
stronghold.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and say this for the people in the room who play the video games. I think the samurai that was fighting here was Getsufuya. And if that means
When you mentioned that to me yesterday...
means anything to anyone, you are a psychopath just like me.
Yeah, when you mentioned that to me yesterday, I'm like, fuck, you might be right. I can see that.
What was the name of the vampire? Cho. It was Cho. One of my favorite moments is actually when he tries to commit seppuku, and
she's like,
And she
nah.
stops him. Like,
She's like,
nah,
nah.
dude, nah. I still got to eat.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we see this whole thing develop between them, and at first it's kind of interesting. It's kind of neat to see.
Yeah.
Especially because you get some really cool training sequences, and you get to see Alucard being a boss with a couple of human beings.
Yeah.
And then you get to watch them kind of grow into their own. Taka and what was the girl's name?
Oh, God, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I felt bad.
The twin. Just call them the twins.
Yeah,
the twins. Just
Were
yeah.
they brother and sister?
I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know what? Who the fuck cares?
Fuck it. Fuck it.
I'm sorry, but I'm just like, in the grand scheme of the entire season, I couldn't fucking give a shit
Okay,
about these characters.
look. There might be one particular reason that I don't want Sumi and Taka to be related, and we're coming up on that. But so they're getting along real well.
Yeah.
But things start to kind of fall apart over the season. At first, it's just little things like, okay, they're obviously impatient. They want to know, hey, can the castle move? What's this magic stuff? And even Alucard says, hey, I'm gonna magic you guys up. I'm gonna get you guys ready.
We're going to teach you cantrips before we get to the level 1 shit, and they want the level 5 shit now.
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't really get a lot of that conflict. And then suddenly, in like the last 3 episodes, specifically in the last 2, shit goes from they're his students, which, by the way, throughout the entire season, as they developed, I was like, they're getting awfully chummy and close.
Yeah.
Like, awfully physical with each other.
By season 6, I'm just like, this feels strange.
Episode 6?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, episode 6, sorry.
Yeah.
Ugh.
By episode 6, especially when like one of them's on his back and
Piggyback ride,
and they're all laying together on the grass. There was a part of me that was like,
What the fuck is
Oh
happening?
no! Dude, when I was watching this with my buddy Chris Savona, I straight out blurted out when that was happening. I'm like, they gon' fuck.
yeah,
They gon' fuck.
I was like, this is some mad bi-polycule energy up in this motherfucker. What the heck?
Nice.
And next thing you know, in that second to last episode, they won't fuck Alucard, and they gon' fuck Alucard.
His reward.
Yeah.
They use the word reward. I'm like, oh my god, here it comes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with the way that it's framed and the way that it's shot, it kind of feels like there's something uneasy and uncomfortable about it. It's also incredibly steamy. Like, for a softcore porn, they go hard on that. And of course, it's also right up against Lenore and Hector's sex scene. So it's like...
It's parallel.
And then the other scene that's going on is the murder of an entire town.
Yeah, and then... Oh, and here's Trevor, Seifer, and Saint Germain fighting Beelzebub.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what the fuck is happening?
It's a pretty wild episode.
Yeah.
Episode 9 is... crazy.
It's a roller
more like
coaster.
episode 69. Am I right? But yeah,
You suck.
I know.
No,
But apparently, so does Taka.
I'm not touching that.
But yeah,
No.
no, don't worry. Sumi will touch it for you.
If I may, my biggest problem with that whole trio dynamic is that you could tell it was meant for a longer scope of time.
But if it had been longer, I probably would have hated it because I won't lie. While Alucard's story takes his character into an interesting place, one that is sad and unfortunate, but also interesting, it is an entire season of 3 characters in one place.
Yeah. Again, I'm hoping I'm framing this
It's
properly.
Goku becoming a Super Saiyan for fucking 7 years all over again.
Well, again, it's like the pacing is weird. It's off. It feels like the training and all of that shit was supposed to take longer than the actual scope of time of the season. Because the events of the season are what? A week?
No.
Tops?
No.
No.
The scope is months.
Really?
The scope is 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm thinking that is because of Isaac's the scope of time for Isaac's travels.
The only reason why that's the case is because when Sifa and Trevor are sleeping in bed, they call it out.
Yeah.
No, right.
Also, the thing.
Also, we spent a couple of months living your life. Now we're living mine.
Also, thing to pay attention to in terms of travel. This is like 1800s Europe? 1700s Europe? Yeah.
Wait, no. I'm wrong. I'm sorry, because Simon is 15. It's 15.
It's 1500s, but you also have to remember Isaac went from North Africa to basically Central Europe. Even by boat, that is not...
By boat, that's months.
I would say weeks. Based on that boat and where... Because based on the town, specifically reminds me of like Cairo and like the actual northern crust of Africa.
Ultimately, point being, travel takes a long time in the fucking past. Let's just say the past.
I know, but what I'm saying is... Even then, the scope of that whole training thing should have been longer.
Yeah, in terms of the... but when you know that it was 3 months, that makes sense. But unfortunately, the actual progression of time within Alucard's story, actually within all of the stories, is kind of unclear because I mean, there's never a season change. There's a lot of ways that they don't.
That's a problem.
There's a lot of ways they don't visually communicate the actual
you never see the climate or like you said, the seasons change at the castle or in the stronghold.
It's not until episode 7 do you get a scope of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a problem, especially like again, what Warren is writing seems like it was meant for something that lasted at least a year. Because it's training, like that kind of training. Like let's say Dragon Ball, a year of training in the hyperbolic time chamber, blah blah blah.
But this is also Taka and Sumi, who are trained warriors. Ultimately, they're already caught up to speed on all the basics, and they don't really progress all that much over the course of.
They really don't.
Yeah.
And more specifically, and this is important to point out, is that what they want is stuff that otherwise they're not able to get.
Yeah.
And if you think about it that way, the fact that they haven't learned a whole lot of magic, they don't have a whole lot of crazy bullshit. I can see why they'd be frustrated, but again, the communication of the passage of time and the pacing itself is so awkward because, again, you don't really get a sense of how much time has passed or how frustrated they are because they never really show a lot of those frustrations at a base level. They kind of just
a couple conversations.
Yeah, it's
That's really it.
A couple of passive conversation.
Yeah, it's just
as
like-
they're just walking.
Yeah,
and they're just,
like all of a sudden, we're friends. Man, I'm so fucking pissed. Oh, we're friends. I'm so fucking mad. We're friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, so by the end of it, the betrayal didn't feel right for me.
No,
It didn't land like they wanted it to.
Yeah.
Even if the actual scene itself works incredibly well.
Oh, the scene animated itself as well, but because of the pacing and the way those characters work together, it felt awkward as sin.
Yeah.
I mean, oh no, it feels kind of awkward either way. But it's also
Especially how Alucard is shot, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's this really lurid, like tense scene, and again, incredibly steamy, that ends in a very, very sad way.
Yeah.
Like the end of that scene is legitimately sad.
Yeah.
You feel awful for Alucard
When he's in a fucking fetal position in the fucking
crying
bedrobes.
in his bedroom, in his
Yeah.
children's bedroom on the floor, crying.
It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
The ending of the season for Alucard is really, really awful. And I felt, unlike for Hector, which I'm just over here like, you're a fucking idiot, dude. I
don't feel bad for Hector at that point.
know.
I felt bad for Hector at the beginning of the season. But at some point it's like, dude, you're
getting played.
You keep getting played.
Yeah.
You keep letting this happen.
when are you going to learn?
Which again,
Yeah.
that's victim blaming, and I don't want to do that too much.
Right.
But also, Hector's not a good guy, so it's hard for me to really like. It's kind of hard for me.
And again, like, it's how Hector was introduced for me, because, I mean, remember, they all treated him like a kid. He was just a naive boy who had the ability to make
Fucking demons.
demons. Like, the first thing he did as a child was make the dog.
Yeah, that's true.
He just wanted to. He's just a boy. Like,
I brought my pet back to life.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, if it means anything, I'm looking forward to the day that Hector, and he will be the one to kill Lenore. Hector's gonna fucking kill
oh,
her.
he super will be.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that day. I'm looking forward to the day that Hector gets up and fucking just slays the shit out of her. Because remember that scene where Hector kills, where Isaac killed the best character in season 2? In an amazing, fantastic fashion.
the Viking vampire Peter.
Yeah.
Godbrand, yeah.
Yeah, Peter Stromae's
Yeah.
character.
I'm waiting for that moment with Hector.
Yeah, with his bare hands.
Wait a minute. Why have we not spoken about the most fucking bone-chilling part in the entire fucking show?
Which one?
Where's the one that speaks?
Oh, the fly!
The fly
The
man?
fly demon who was a scholar from Athens.
Oh, that motherfucker! Oh, Jesus!
The last 2 lines. You know, just thank you for giving me a second life.
Yeah,
Oh, that smile! The smile!
yeah,
Oh!
yeah. The fucking fly man. What the fuck?
He's supposed to be someone like Aristotle or Socrates. Like, he's from ancient Greek. And then along comes Constantine. Here's something called Christianity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I found that fascinating. I'm like, Jesus Christ alive. There's one that talks? Why would there be one that talks?
Because one of the demons that he summons is Slogra.
Yeah.
And Slogra becomes a common hat character throughout the entire franchise.
Oh, Slogar's my favorite Pokemon.
God damn it. Slogar is a bird creature with a spear, and he's followed up by a demon that flies. You fight him in Symphony of the Night. They are peppered throughout the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, so we've talked about Alucard. We've talked about Isaac. We've talked about the sisters. We've talked about
Saint
fucking
Germain.
Saint Germain. Let's talk about our best couple.
The best couple. Let's be frank.
Like, I didn't know
Oh,
how
this
much.
is better than sex. Wait, damn it.
I didn't mean
Oh,
that.
fuck.
It's a different kind of pleasure.
It's a different kind of meaning. Like, Trevor, Jesus fucking Christ,
And
man.
to think those two are gonna give us this blonde-haired Conan the Barbarian in brown booty shorts.
Oh, right. I guess
They make
Simon.
Belmont.
I want Simon to escape the womb with a chiseled man face.
It's just Simon's head on a baby's body.
Yeah, so he shoots out and it's just him on the floor. Wow.
How does that work? How are Trevor Belmont and Sypha going to give us a blonde boy?
Leon, Granddad. Trevor's Leon's blonde.
Oh, okay. So
It's funny enough. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with me. I inherit a lot of my grandfather's traits, not my dad's.
that's fair. That's fair. I know that hair color
Great
actually.
grandfather.
Yes, great grandfather. Excuse me.
So okay, Simon's gonna take after his great granddad.
Leon, but again, ripped to all hell in tight brown booty shorts. The battle has been consummated. Just to see him run through that castle just screaming will be great.
I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, Trevor and Sypha this season.
So good.
So I feel bad for a lot of the other characters. Isaac throughout the season gets to have a character progression and actually leaves him off on a place where he's actually feeling pretty damn good about himself.
Yeah.
He just slaughtered an entire village, which ultimately gives him a new army.
Yep.
Which that is terrifying all on its own. I'm pretty sure he's going to take that and
March up to the castle.
march up to fucking Carmilla's castle, which I am so all about that next season.
I also love that because none of the vampire lords put that into consideration because they don't know where Isaac is.
No, and they haven't even thought about Isaac.
Yeah, exactly. Isaac's the wild card in this whole board game.
The
and
wild
I love
card.
it.
The wild card.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the kind of shit that Isaac's gonna pull when he gets to the castle.
I mean, the fact that he laughs at Hector's situation, just ha.
But
Get wrecked, nerd.
I don't want a weenie.
Isaac leaves it on top.
Yes.
Alucard is at an all-time low.
Yes.
Hector is now the pet to a vampire lord, which can...
He's a good boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy. Which could go one way or the other for Hector, depending...
That's a fucking cocktail of explosives.
Yeah, I'm suspecting that when Isaac comes in, that's when Hector's going to make his move.
Yeah.
I think when things...
I think they're both gonna while the chaos is happening, they're gonna converge and fight.
And I definitely think that Hector's going to kill Lenore when things go down at
Yeah.
the castle.
Oh yeah.
But all those characters, they are all at kind of this transitionary period. But fucking Sypha and Trevor by the end of the season are fucking just they've lost hope.
No, Sypha has lost hope.
Trevor's used to
Trevor
it.
has been neutral through the entire fucking season.
Hence why his last line of dialogue. Now you know what it's like living in my world.
Well, no, it's we tried living your way,
world, and now we're
going to live in
mine.
mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trevor has been for being the fucking main fucking Belmont for this entire season. He's gone nowhere.
Yeah.
He's gone nowhere. And you know what? That's not a problem.
No.
That is not a problem because after what happened the last season, you know what he's about. You know his deal. He's just the press X to win button.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so Trevor in this season, both Trevor and Sypha don't really have any development until the end, but it made sense for them.
Yeah.
Their entire thing was, hey, we can help this town. We're the adventurers. We can be good. We can be helpful. We can make the world a better place. No, the world, it won't be a better place because the world is too big for you and all of the efforts that you want to put into it. And as it turns out, people will continue to be assholes no matter what. And at the end of the day, your lack of control over what the goings on are going to come back to bite you and others in the ass, which is a really, really sad message. It's a really sad, unfortunate message, and I hope it's not one that they take to heart for too long. I would like to see them try again to be the better people.
I feel like I can already fucking see the writing on the wall for the next season.
Yeah.
I need your 2 cents on this, my man.
Trevor is gonna pick Sypha up.
Yeah.
Sypha is gonna be at her lowest point throughout most of the fucking season, and then Trevor's gonna be the one to pick her up and tell her to get back on her feet.
So yeah, you know what? I would absolutely really like to see Trevor be the one that gives Sypha hope. Because Sypha, oh man, poor girl tried her hardest the whole goddamn season to be the person that...
The optimist.
Yeah, to be the optimist and to do the right thing. And by the way, holy shit, this girl's a fucking boss.
Yes,
like, she was a
she
boss in season 2. In this one, Trevor has the fucking balls to say, you got my back? Motherfucker, she's got the room.
Yeah, Sypha's got the best animation throughout all the action scenes.
Oh,
She has
hands down.
She has the best action scenes throughout the entire season.
Yes. Which, by the way, so Tam Lu, was the MVP for the animation this season.
Oh, yeah.
Spencer Wan, who worked on seasons 1 and 2, actually took a back seat because currently he's working on Owl House and some other projects,
Yes.
and including Boruto.
And that makes super fucking sense because a lot of the 3D work and a lot of the artwork I see in Owl House fucking translates into that.
But what we're seeing here is Tam Lu, new animator. This is one of the first things that she's ever done. And Samuel Dietz, another powerhouse.
Yes, Powerhouse.
He's one of the main directors for the show.
Yeah.
I think, isn't he the sole director for the show?
No. Samuel Dietz is somebody else. I'm pretty sure Samuel
Dietz is one of the top head honchos of Powerhouse Animation. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he is the director of the show because Warren Ellis created and wrote the show.
Yeah, he's got the animation team working on the actual production line.
Yeah, Dietz is more like the art director for the show.
I will say, with the amount of animation in this season, with the amount of fights and how much they had to work on, you can tell that there's a small difference in the way they did the animation. They were using a lot more 2s and 3s and getting really stylistic with it. And also, the compositing in this season is way better than the last, than at least the first one. You can definitely, everything looks just generally better, but there's a difference in the animation in that.
Well, the moment that fucking Simon whips out the vampire killer with the other whip,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he goes from 2D to 3D in a fucking instant, I'm just like, oh shit, the budget just kicked in.
Yep.
I won't lie to you. That sequence where he pulls out both the whips, I, in my mind, yelled out, "And now behold the power of 2 whips!"
The Morning Star and the Vampire Killer, man. I'm not gonna lie, I screamed so loud when I saw him whip out the Vampire Killer.
Because that's the best part is that that whole entire scene is just like, oh my god, he's been using a base whip this entire time.
Yep.
Also, what was I gonna say? That monster, I forget what it was called. The one with the multiple eyes.
They called it the Visitor, but towards the end, when the gate opens, it starts doing stuff like Beelzebub from Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
It is, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is a great monster design, and also the fact that it lets itself get strung up and carved into
For the ritual,
the ritual. There's a part of me that's like, oh man, this thing is out of the entire series, I felt like this monster was the scariest and creepiest they've had thus far.
They're making them way more eldritch this time around.
Yeah, they are. I mean, there's a fucking Cthulhu creature.
That thing's in every game too.
Yeah,
it's a very common enemy. A lot of the enemies they fight in that scene, they're all common enemies from the franchise.
Yeah.
Good that the Castlevania's had a problem thus far about putting in actual villains and enemies from the games, and then can we talk about the fucking Lucifer-looking one that comes out? The one with the multiple wings?
Oh,
yeah.
With the helmet.
Yeah, the moment I saw that motherfucker, I was
That's a common
like,
enemy.
That thing is terrifying. That is there were a lot of things in this season that were actually high on my horror list, and that,
Do you remember the thing that the 2-legged monster that was walking over Saint Germain in the time loop? It looked like a giant mech that was on 2 legs. That's a boss in 3 games.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
That's a Portrait of Ruin, Harmony of Despair, and an Order of Ecclesia monster.
Oh, so they found something to surpass Metal Gear. That's cool. But yeah, there's I think it was called the Seraphim, according to the chat. It looks like they call it a Seraphim.
Yep.
One, yeah. Which, by the way, fallen angels, always a cool idea for a villain.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, be not afraid is not a fucking cute word. It's not cute words.
But also, the fucking bone arrow dude.
The Chimera with the Archer Chimera.
That was so cool. I'm sorry. The fact that he kept making bones to fire out him like that is
From his forearm.
And then the fucking frog thing. Like the one that creates the gravity sphere.
yeah, that's the Cthulhu
That's
thing.
the Cthulhu one, yeah.
That thing. The moment it created that sphere, I was like, okay, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? And as it turns out, oh shit, it's a gravity sphere, and fucking Sypha has to use fucking fire bending, which, by the way, holy shit, the stuff that she does with fire and ice in this season trumps almost everything she did in the last season, except for that one scene where she fucking uses the ice
wall.
to cut that fucker in half. That was.
Yeah, no, her using her fucking magic to propel herself out of the fucking gravity well attack was really fucking nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a badass fucking move, and I gotta give it to the animators and the storyboard artists and the people who worked on that because god fucking damn it. But yeah, the monster designs in that entire scene, I was sitting back like, okay, this is what I've been waiting for all season. This is what I wanted.
Yeah.
And they delivered, and it was glorious. Like the scene where she's fighting the Seraphim up in the air, and she calls back up the water and cuts it into 5 fucking pieces.
Yeah.
I came.
So good.
It came everywhere.
And you want to know what's fucking great? Is all the shit she was doing makes canonical sense from the fucking third game, because that's all of her abilities, just in different various ways.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think, reflecting back on what I've been saying early in this review, I think the reason why I think Season 3 is the best season, I think just objectively in writing, production, animation, decisions, and what to put in these episodes, creature designs, everything, it all improved and is aces in my book. I think that is also what helped my decision into thinking Season 3 is the best season so far of the show.
There's a lot of things that don't work, but there's way too many things that do work that outshine the bad.
I agree.
Look, it's not that I'm going to say that, again, it's why I didn't call it a bad season or even just a okay season. It's a good season for me. Mm-hmm. I definitely enjoyed it. But out of the 3 of them, it felt like its story was the most uneven and had the most problems. And which is saying the first one, it doesn't do a whole lot. It like the first season, again, it's basically...
I'm gonna call it the movie. It's not even a season.
Yeah. That first movie is a lot of setup, but it was also very promising and very cool and original. The second season has amazing fight scenes, great character development. Mm-hmm. Everybody goes places, and nothing except for the I won't lie, the pacing on that season is bad because throughout the season it's like, yeah, we're getting ready to fight Dracula. Oh, now we're fighting Dracula. And I'm like,
yeah, that breakneck, and we're here.
Dracula's stall throughout the entire second season was the weakest point.
Yeah. But that being said, the second season for me is still the strongest out of the 3. And you know what? If looking at just general quality, yeah, maybe I'll put the third season above season 1 / the movie. I can see that. But it still has some parts of it that basically make it kind of feel like a setup for a 4th season, and that sort of sucks.
I mean...
It is.
It is, because the problem is, I mean, Dracula's out of the picture. The titular character is out of the picture for now.
But can I also just say one more quick thing before we can end this tangent? When you see Dracula, when that entire scene of them going through the entire thing of Dracula until they finally reach to him, that was the opening to Symphony of the Night.
Oh, really? That's really cool. Yeah, no, by the way, getting to eggs. I always love artists' depictions of hell, and the one in this is very much along the lines of what I like.
It's very Dante's Inferno.
No one uses the final place in hell, the final circle, where it's ice covered.
Yeah.
Like, barely anyone uses that a lot.
Yeah, like literally the last time anyone did it was the game Dante's Inferno.
I love that hell with everybody who's a tree, and the trees are made of people. And other ones where everyone's drowning or wherever.
The river Styx, basically.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of fucking cool shit in that scene.
Yeah.
And it's definitely great. And I also love the sound design. The sound design in this season is remarkable because it helps to sell all the weird fucking imagery. Mm-hmm. When you're in the fucking the what's it called?
Infinite Corridor?
Yeah, when you're in the Infinite Corridor, if it weren't for the sound design, it wouldn't have been nearly as effective. It would have just been a lot of trippy visuals. But the sound design sells all of it. It's incredible. It's insane. It's nuts. And yeah, the entire season's got some of the best sound design, some of the best compositing, some of the best fight scenes, some of the best writing. They're all wonderful. Like I'm definitely going to give it a heads up. But the thing I have to take away from it is with all the turning gears that it had and all the characters that it wanted to develop and all the story it wanted to set up, there were things that felt rushed, some things that I feel like they dropped the ball on, and at the end of it, I'm eager to see season 4. I definitely want to. I'm not psyched for season 4, but I kind of felt disappointed in some places.
I feel like, okay, so I get that. There's a lot of characters to keep track of. Once they start dying off, they're inevitably going to. It's Castlevania.
Yeah.
Until we get to the point where it's Simon, and Simon is the main fucking focal factor, where it's Simon and Dracula, and then we go back into Richter and Dracula. Well, then Richter, Shaft, Alucard, Dracula. Oh, fuck, it's gonna get big again. Yeah.
There's gonna be a lull.
There's gonna be a lull of characters, and then there's gonna be an expansion of characters. I feel like that's the problem that a lot of people are having, is that there's too many characters to keep track of. They all have interesting stories. They can't all have the spotlight at the same time.
Yeah. I think it's just a matter of balancing that spotlight, and I think that's where they're struggling with this season. But again, I agree with everyone. Like, Warren is setting up interesting shit, and I can't wait for season 4 because of that.
The Curse of Darkness season is going to be good.
I think it's about time to wrap up, but before we go, closing thoughts on some things that we didn't touch on. Fucking cultists, creepy as fuck. Oh
yeah.
shit.
Oh, the main cultist, dude.
Father Sala.
Every time his eyes are wide, I'm just like, could you fucking stop that blink for me?
The fact that he has, like...
Blink, motherfucker!
The fact that he has the goat eyes.
Uh-huh.
It's just goat eyes. I'm like...
It's like Saint Germain's just like, I'm looking for the restroom. Piss outside like everyone else.
Yeah. There's a shit corner in the Priory.
Uh-huh.
There's a shit bucket. And I'm like...
And I love it. And here's another thing, if you didn't notice for the passage of time. Every time they go back to Saint Germain's, he's reading the books, there's less and less cultists in the room.
Yes, because they're...
Remember the dude rocking back and forth like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. He's the last one to go.
Yeah. Because didn't, like, the main, like, big guy, the big burly guy say that a lot of them are just kind of, like, leaving?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're all leaving.
Yeah, so that is another key element for the passage of time, but... Yeah, Father Sala and the Priory, the desecrated Priory and the reveal, and also good nod to alchemic mythology.
Yeah.
Very good nod. I mean, and who else to lead it better than Saint Germain? The man who fucking invented absinthe.
Yeah. And, Trevor and Sypha are easily, like... we didn't touch as much on them as I wanted to, but I did love them this season. They were exceptionally great power couple, a lot of great scenes. They got the least amount of development. That was basically all just saved till the end. But they also I felt like their development along with Isaac's are the ones that made the most sense. Let's see, anything else that we didn't touch on? Anything else?
I think we pretty much just wrapped up everything. Like
Yeah.
that was like everything we talked about in the entire show.
Yeah.
It's literally now. Again, but I can talk fucking hours about.
Oh yeah, I could tell you can.
I could talk hours about like, oh my god, guys, whoever's played Portrait of Ruin, when Saint Germain's going through the corridor of time, the first fucking thing he opens up to is the Nation of Fools. And if you know what that is, then good on you. The Nation of Fools is a fucking crazy place in Portrait of Ruin.
I'm actually kind of curious. Like that. Like I didn't know about any of it. So when he looks at those people running across that bridge, I'm like, well, that's a thing that I'm looking at right now. I wonder if that'll come back to play.
I don't know what game that is. That's the fucked up thing. I went back to that scene multiple times. I'm just like, this is too vague. With all the characters I'm looking at, I can't tell who's who. This is too fucking vague. Is this the past? And then I said to myself, oh my god. Is this Harmony of Despair? Where they gather everyone at once?
And apparently there was like references to like other properties. Hell, you told me that they wanted to do like a JoJo thing or whatever.
Yeah, one of the things like like half into the week there was like a thing where they're just like everyone from the Castlevania game would love to do a JoJo X Castlevania crossover episode.
Oh my god, you give me a JoJo crossover with Castlevania as a movie. I'll watch that shit.
Like, did you see the fucking mask the shopkeeper was holding?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I'd be all about that. I would love to see. I want to see Trevor Belmont go up against Dio. That sounds like a fucking blast.
Oh god, Dracula and Dio team up. The double D.
Yeah. But I think that's probably it for now. Thank you so much, Brian, Zito, for joining me for this Talkcast Podshow. I guess it's kind of weird. Lenny was out this week. He hadn't seen Castlevania, and we wanted to talk about it, so I ended up taking over for this time. Hi. So thank you all so much for joining us for another Talkcast Podshow. Next week... before we go, make sure to check out... This Friday on this channel, we're doing a showcase of a bunch of brand new stuff, and not some brand new stuff. Some of it is just sequels to things you've already seen, and it's going to be real exciting. We're going to be showing 2 episodes of Unabridged. We're going to be showing the 2nd episode of Fistmaster. We're going to be showing a dragon short. It's a short dragon short, and we also have something special which we haven't been able to show yet. It's going to be really neat. Yep. So. We'll see you guys around. And again, thank you so much for another Talkcast Podshow. Adios.
So let me tell you more about Castlevania.
No!